I honestly don't care if you edit any of this out. I don't care.
Okay, we're gonna
Get serious.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in and welcome to another episode, number 4 of Daddy Like Talking Golden Tea. And this week we got one of, I would say, the most universally well liked and certainly entertaining guys on the tour, and that is Zerull. Am I saying your last name right?
It's Zerull. So you want to say
Zerull. See,
er,
I have not done my homework.
Yeah, nobody ever gets it right, so don't feel bad.
Zerull.
Yeah.
Boom. Now I did.
Yeah, Earl with a Z. That's how
Earl with a Z. Right
that's
on.
how I was told.
Well, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thank you for having me.
We're starting a little late because we had a few technical difficulties. One of those, Is it Pavlov's dog? No, not. Is it Pavlov's dog? Yeah, everything that could go wrong could go, internet out, camera not working. Yeah. But here we are. We plowed through like true Golden Tea players.
So I watched your first episode and I watched part of the other two. Watched almost all of Putts. I did fall asleep watching that one. Not because it was boring, because I was watching it while I was laying in bed. But I watched the first one. I think I watched the whole first one. And then when you asked me, I was joking with all my buddies. I was like, wow, he wasn't kidding. He was serious about not having the best players on here because he just asked me to do it. You know what I mean?
Shit, dude.
He is going to get players from all the different.
Oh man, come on, man.
But
humility.
I'm a tier below those guys. You know what I mean? But it was just kind of funny that we were joking about that. They're like, how'd you get on there? I'm like, I don't know. He asked me.
So, at this point, please hit subscribe. And I also, in the first 2 videos, I said you would get notifications. I don't know how this shit works, but I do now. You not only hit subscribe, but hit that little bell symbol too. Hit the bell, and then that way that's how you get the notification for when each episode comes up.
Like button.
And thumbs up. Yeah. Al, first question. Where are you located? Where are you from?
I'm in Eden Prairie, Minnesota.
Where is that about for someone who doesn't know Minnesota?
It's a suburb of Minneapolis. It's probably 10, 15 miles southwest of Minneapolis.
Oh, very cool.
Yep.
Right on. Did you grow up there?
I grew up in South Minneapolis. I was one of the first houses off the runway of MSP, so it was a loud house. Yeah. Yep.
You probably get used to it though.
Yeah, you do. And then they soundproofed our house for free and gave us air conditioning.
No kidding.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there was so much complaints about it that it's called MAC, the Metropolitan Airports Commission. Had this big circle around the airport, and everybody inside that circle got soundproofing. So,
did you say they soundproofed it and you got air conditioning?
Well, because the theory is you have to have your windows closed to have soundproofing. So they would give you central air.
You had to use air conditioning.
No, central air was...
that is a theory. That's more of a fact.
Central air was part of the soundproofing because you had to keep your windows shut. They insulated the house and did all this. But I remember...
So not only...
Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead. Oh, I was going to say... So...
Oh, there's some editing for you right there. I remember... because of the world we live in now, I remember living there before the soundproofing and even probably after. If you were watching something and a plane flew over, you just missed it. You didn't, there was no pausing. You just missed it. That was it. It's like, well, I don't know what they said, but, and that's how we watch TV. You watch TV and you're just like, well, didn't hear what they said, so move on from there.
That was my comment was going to be that. So before they gave you that stuff, not only did you have to listen to airplanes, you had to you had to have all the windows down because it was hot in the house. So,
well, yeah,
there was really no filter.
Something that some people don't understand about Minnesota. It gets really hot here in the summer. I know it's freezing in the winter, but it does get pretty hot here too. So,
yeah. And I understand that you are one of the Golden Tee players with little ones running around. Is that how many do you have?
Not so little anymore. 11 and 14. I've got two.
Mm,
Zoe's 11 and Xander is 14.
and
And
you're almost at the age you're gonna have to start paying attention to them. I'm
yeah,
just that's a
yeah,
joke. That's a joke.
yeah. I
Obviously, pay
know. No,
attention to kids, but
I don't
yeah,
worry. I get the joke. No, I got to start worrying about one that's going to be old enough to drive my car here in about 4 weeks. So
is a boy or girl?
he's the boy, 15.
Uh,
Yep.
yeah.
And
All
so
right.
he's in that.
So you
He's going to
got
be in
it,
that
and
learner's
the other
mode
one's a
age.
daughter. Yeah.
She's 11.
And how protective are you going to be of her first dates?
Uh, yeah, quite a bit. Yeah, but you know, boy, she's sharp. you know, and he's
Yeah.
fine too. It's just different personalities. You know what I mean? She
You know
just.
what you do you know what sharp translates to when they turn into a teenager?
I don't know if I want to know.
So what do you do to pay for these children? What's your line of work?
I do garage door sales and service. I've been in that
Oh, very
business
nice.
for 15, actually, probably getting close to 20 years now.
Oh wow, yeah. Right on.
And I kind of fell into that by accident. I thought I was going to be doing it for like 3 weeks. So, yeah. So,
And they stick you in.
'cause I went to tech college for automotive. So I have an automotive degree. Um, and then I was with a dishonest shop, and I left without giving notice. And I knew a friend that was working at this place, and I just said, "Hey, can I work there?" And I took the job, and I thought it was just going to get me to the next automotive job, and I've been there ever since. So, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I really enjoy it because I'm by myself all day, and I'm running around town, and uh, lots of freedom. I mean, don't deal with coworkers and bosses much. They just here
Yeah.
go do this and bring us the results, and that's about it. So it's kind
Sweet.
of nice. Make my own schedule type of thing.
Tell the people at home where you play.
I play at what we call the bunker, or that's the short version. It started out as the banger bunker, is what we called it. That's in Burnsville, Minnesota. That's probably 15 minutes from where I am right now. Um, and it's we have one of those. We were one of those first CAD places. You know what I mean, where
Sure.
you rent out an office space and do
I've
that.
seen videos of it. I mean, when you guys post
Yeah,
videos.
and we did that. I mean, the first time that happened here, Todd Penikoff did it. I think he was the first one to do it. And if not, I could be wrong. If not, somebody will correct us, I'm sure. But
He was the first one. Oh, to do like a Cade thing,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
and
I think
then
so too.
Mouth came in after Todd's kind of fizzled out, and Mouth ran one for a while, and then Mouth moved to Iowa, and then Fox and our vendor Dean Vending kind of got together and got this one going, and then we've been playing there ever since.
Wait, the Todd. When you say Todd Penikoff, you mean when he did it down in Arizona, right?
No, I think it was before that.
Oh, so he started one. Like,
Yeah.
is it
Yep.
the same one that you play at? Like, is it, or
No.
is it?
No.
It
No.
was a,
No. No. Different building, different place altogether, but same type of thing. Um, and then, yeah, that, like I said, that kind of went away. Went back to the bar for a little bit. Then Mouth had his thing going on, which was what did he call that? The Marcade, because his first name's Mark.
yeah, yeah.
And we did it. And we did that for a while. And the only reason that ever ended is because I think Mouth got a job with GoDaddy and went to Iowa.
Mm. But he's back in Minnesota, right?
Nope, he's still in Iowa. He came back up here to
Oh.
get married. He came back up here to get married because Jill is from here.
Mm.
Um, and he's here a couple times a year to visit. But no, he moved to Iowa. He said he was going to come back, but he never did. And then after he left, went back to the bar for a little bit again, and then Andy decided to fire another one up, and it's. I mean, at our age, it's really the way to go. Like, um, we just you just got to stay out. Just want to stay out of the bars and paying those prices, and
Yeah, no
we get
kidding.
cheaper golden tea, and because they don't
And
have to.
it's not like you're going there to meet new people. You're
Yeah,
no,
yeah. Well, and
yeah,
it's cheaper golden tea, and it's cheaper drinks, and we have a controlled environment on our track balls. There's
yeah, yeah,
nobody's going to be there when we're not there, rubbing them down with whatever they want. So
yeah.
and then we get to be together more and really learn more from each other because there's no outside interference. You know what I mean? So
Now, when y'all are there, do y'all tend to play head to head matches against each other, or just each play in your own machine?
we play on our own machine most of the time. Um, Friday nights, where visitors come in, we start to get some two-player stuff going. Or if Fox bugs me enough, I'll go play 1 through 5 with him and give him $30. Uh,
It's like
um, but yeah, for the most part, I mean, I think we have. I think we have 8 machines in there, and
that was my next question.
we have like
That's a lot.
six. Then we have like 6 regular players. So
Holy
um,
cow! I wish
yeah,
we had something like that in Denver. There's just not enough avid players. Well, I mean, we got the three of us are way down south, and then those guys up there. And where where Glenn and Chef and Dewey play, and Golf Alani's in town. Um, they have regulars that come in and play. Not good enough to go. Oh, and Crusher Dave plays there. Frosty occasionally.
Crusher Dave. Oh
Yeah.
man,
Um, and uh, he so they have a group of players, and players that aren't as good of players, but I guess that play pretty regularly. They have 3 machines there. Phil and Al own those machines, and
yep,
but it's a hike for me to go up there. It's like
yeah.
if door to door, if it's not rush hour, it's like 45 minutes. So um,
Well, in Denver, you might have to literally go up there. Like, I mean, is this on top of the mountain?
no, no,
Like,
it's just like here's Denver Metro,
yeah,
and here's me, and here's them. It's like
yeah,
just you know,
yeah. That's crazy. That happens. Like, you get a lot of that. I'm sure you probably do too. You go to a tournament, and they're like, where's Wes? I mean, don't you guys play with him all the time? I'm like, well, no, he's clear across the other side of the city. Like,
yeah, yeah,
he's 40 miles away.
yeah.
And I
It's
used to joke. I only get to see Wes when I go to tournaments. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
so
it's the only time that I see those guys is if I make a destination trip, and like that when I posted that thing from that tournament, a couple weekends ago. They had a handicap tournament. There were 16 players, so I drove up for that. But otherwise, because they all live close to there, so if they have some beers, they don't want to be driving way down south where we are. But
yeah, that's how it kind of is here too. If there's an event or something, we're gonna go do that, but we're not gonna
yeah,
make a
like
habit out of it.
I play in the afternoons 5 days a week with 2 guys. One of them plays good. You've probably seen him on the leaderboard. It's under Woody. It says Woody exclamation point.
Yeah, I think I've
Um,
seen him.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's a real solid player. He's never been to a power event. So he's been thinking about it. He's got a family and stuff, and um, he uses a lot of his travel time to go play golf with his buddies. He's a real good golfer, so picks his battles. But one day he'll get to one of them. But
yeah,
but
yeah. That's a
we
game changer. You know that.
yeah, yeah, um,
I can't stop
and
going to those things. It's
yeah.
too much
Oh
fun.
man,
Too much fun.
Dude,
Too many friends.
I mean, can you imagine? I mean, I think I talked about it with Paul, and I was like, can you imagine? God forbid that Power Events folded up shop. Like my
Yeah.
dream, I mean, that thing would never get played, and maybe I would play live some, but it
Yeah.
would change everything.
Well, who knows? Because there's still a lot of. I mean, let's take Peg T out, right? You could still probably find 15 decent tournaments to go to every year. And those would just get bigger, right? All these ones that we see,
Yeah,
like Indiana, Houston, and there's a lot of them.
that's true. That is true. Player run tournaments.
And I
Yeah,
don't know. I know you were around before this. I just don't know if you were traveling. But I mean, there was a time when Peg T didn't exist,
of course. Yeah,
and I went to a couple back then. I went down to Iowa one time. Um, I think that was my first tournament ever, actually. Um, but I have a feeling that the gaps would get filled in, if Peg T disappeared,
yeah, that's
and
true.
and there's probably somebody chomping at the bit
That's
uh,
true.
to jump up and take over
Yeah,
that, anyways. But I do get your point, though. What would you do without it?
yeah, yeah.
Totally makes sense.
I guess it was before. When did you start playing?
Oh, I mean, I played my first game in 1998,
Yeah.
but I then I got kind of serious in 2000.
Oh,
Um, I mean, kind of serious means kind of serious was I'm living at my dad's, I'm working full time, and I'm going to spend $40 a day playing this game, and that's it. You can play 8 games, and you've got 2 years, And this wasn't every single day. It was when I went out.
sure.
I limited myself to 8 games. But I remember thinking to myself, I'm living at my dad's, and if I'm going to get good at it, this is the time to do it, because once I move out, I'm not going to be able to afford to do it. So I've got to start breaking even before I move out, because I'm moving out. That's going to happen. And that was really that was it. It was like, if it doesn't happen, then I'm just going to stop playing. And I really started breaking even when I was like, 21 or 22, and that's when I moved out. And then I actually took some time off. And then I got back into it when live started. I mean, 2005 or 6, whatever that was.
Yeah.
I mean, I was all in. I was just
All
like,
in. Yeah.
this is it. Like, the monthly thing was cool, but that really wasn't gonna do anything for growing the game, because there's just
And when you say the monthly thing, for the people at home that don't know what you mean.
where instead of having a contest that lasts 25 minutes, it lasted all month. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like, just play as much as you can until you get your best score.
It was almost like a month-long daily, right?
Exactly what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
Except that the course would change every day, right?
yeah. And when
Yeah.
that live came out, I mean, and you would see the leaderboards, and then you load up the same
Yeah.
course or whatever again, and then you'd see another leaderboard. I mean,
Yeah.
that was just like, ah,
Yeah.
Just like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm
I miss the live up. Remember that upper screen? The
yes,
up
absolutely.
when I got
When they weren't broken.
yeah, and then yeah, no kidding. And then when I got the pedestal, I got the pedestal right when it came out,
Yeah,
and so I just bought a little computer monitor and then just had it wired in there. So I still had the leaderboard, and people loved it. They were like, "Oh, this is great," because no one else had it. And then, like, I don't know how many years ago it was that all of a sudden that like I got the update for the courses, and then plugged it. And all of a sudden, it was just cloning my thing, and there was always an option to clone the screen. And I was like, "Where did the leader?" And they took the leaderboard out. I was like, "What?"
yeah.
Wow.
But luckily, shortly after that, the app came out, so you didn't have to whine too much, because now at least you
Yeah,
could. It was really nice to see it while you're playing, but at least you
I'm a
can now
golden
look at
I'm a
the app
Gold
and see
player. I
where.
whine all the time.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what I mean? Just imagine if we would have never got the app, and then you had to just wait.
Oh God.
You know what I mean? Like, okay. Because sometimes I'll play so many games that they're not going to close till tomorrow morning. You know, and it's like you don't even have any idea where you're sitting. You know, what I mean?
Yeah.
Without that app, because there is
What
no
did we
leaderboard.
do? What did we do before the app? Because I
Well,
guess
what
we
we
went
did,
online. Well, we'd go on the website, I guess.
well,
Right?
even I remember Will. Will was the first guy. Will Sandstead,
Yeah.
first guy I ever knew with a smartphone. He had the iPhone 1, and he probably had a smartphone. That was probably 18 months before I had one. And he would, we'd play the same contest, and I'd ask him, I'd be like, pull this up and this and that. I couldn't believe that he could pull that up when we were standing at the
Yeah.
bar. And then
Yeah.
he'd pull up Golden Blab or Underdog, and I'm like, oh my God, he's looking at
Yeah.
that on his phone. This is unbelievable. And so Will was the catalyst. He had to make sure we all were up to date all the time because he was the only guy with this. And his iPhone was about the first one was about this thick. But yeah, but man, when I saw that thing, so yeah, you're right. We would have to go to the browser before the app. We used the browser for quite a bit actually. Now that you mentioned that, I almost forgot
Yeah.
about that. Yeah,
So you had been around for a while, but you didn't come to a Denver Open, did you?
I did not. No,
Oh man.
and
Yeah.
I regret it because I kind of was planning on it. It's a part of the country I've never seen, and then I heard about the ball field and all that and deck
Yeah.
out there. And then I think when I was starting to get really serious about going, they took it away.
Yeah.
But then it came here, and I was like, well, I guess that's a good trade off. I mean, because I'm not getting Chisholm where I'm sitting right now. That tournament was 6 blocks from here. It was 6 blocks from where I'm sitting right now. So I actually
Wait,
moved.
which one? Oh, when I thought that like somewhere in Ohio was the first one.
There
That
might have
August time slot.
there might have been one in between, but I always correlate the Denver Open with the Minnesota Open
Okay.
because
Mid August.
it might have came right here. I think it was here twice, and the turnout could have been better, but it wasn't awful. And
Is that why they stopped having it there? Like they got
no,
more money offered
no,
somewhere else?
no, we had a terrible bar owner that just wouldn't fulfill his end of the deal. He'd tell them,
Oh.
"Hey, we're going to do this," and then on Sunday when Steve needed it, he's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do that."
Oh no.
Yeah, so
Oh no. Yeah,
so
the first 2 years was before Power Events of the Denver Open, and it was at my local hangout bar where I was 7 days a week, and there was 2 Golden Tee machines and I have a player. So, they said I talked to them, explained how it worked, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll add the money," and I knew they were good for it, so that was no
yeah,
worries. And then when that bar shut down, and then I had to hit the pavement looking for another place, and then when I found Jackson's, and and the general manager was like, I mean, me and my buddy did our sales pitch, and they didn't even have a Golden Tee machine. No, they might have. I can't remember, but he was just like, "Yeah, it sounds good. Let's do it." Like after like 10 minutes, and it was like, like you're gonna have to add, this amount. It's gonna come out to like $6,000 or whatever. And he was like,
yeah.
"Yeah," but I didn't know this guy, and all of a sudden it's like now the tournament rolls around, and it's like, oh God, I hope what if Steve shows up with his machines and they're like, what are you doing here? No, don't bring those in.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm sure
And then
until it actually happens.
yeah, and then you owe us $6,000, and but they paid it, and then we were like, so did hopefully next year they're like, absolutely, just
Yeah, I could. I mean, this guy. I'll tell you, it didn't. It surprised me that he was going to do it, and then it didn't surprise me when he didn't do it.
yeah, one of
'Cause
those kind of characters.
we kind of had a history with him, and you know, but I mean, with the amount of business that guy did that weekend, I thought he would just be like, "Wow, now I see what you guys are talking about,"
Yeah.
But he's such a tightwad that his true colors came out right when it mattered most, and it's too bad because Steve, Russ, and Paige had to pony up the rest of that field.
Oh
You know what
God.
I mean? So not a big. And then he gave us. I think Steve gave us kind of like a. He's like, all right, guys, because we had a pretty big base here then. Thor and Wes and Will and Andy and myself and Pentecoff. And I mean, I could probably keep going. He's like, all right, you guys have like a few months here. Find me something else and I'll bring it back there. But if not, like he put it all on us. Like, go out and find somebody and do the talking. And we tried. And
it's tough.
yeah, I mean, we're not the greatest salesmen, but I mean, we did. We really didn't exhaust our avenues, but in hindsight, I wish I would have tried harder to keep that here.
Yeah.
And really, all we were trying to do is we just have to get somebody to talk to Steve. Because Steve's going to do the rest of the work, right? It's not like I got to tell you the whole thing. And it was tough to even get that. And it was sad because anybody that lives in any of these towns knows, especially these top players, if you can take travel costs off of one of these tournaments, that's a big deal for the bottom line, at the end of the year if you're trying to make money playing Golden Tee, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it would have been really nice to have. And it makes the wife happier. Like, I'm at a Golden Tee tournament, but I'm at home every night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I felt like I could go to an extra tournament because of that, because it didn't even feel like I was gone,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We the 3 years it was at Jackson's in downtown. Bob Ludwig, he no longer lives in Denver, but
The
me and
pilot
Bob
guy,
and
right? He's the pilot guy,
yeah,
right?
yep. And so the two of us, and then Pat Fagan would come from wherever he's from, Arizona somewhere, Phoenix, I think. But anyway, so even though Bob and I lived in Denver, and I was pretty far south of downtown, but Bob lived like just 5 miles down the street. But we would rent an apartment in
Yeah.
downtown, like a block from Jackson's, and just tell the women at home,
Oh, man.
like, you don't want me home because I'm going to be a drunken
No.
mess. I'm gonna
No, I would be home, but I would make sure to come home after they were in bed because
yeah.
you can't. Yeah. Hey, I don't know if you can edit this out. I got to use
Sure.
the bathroom really bad.
No, do it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll be right
No,
back.
I'm not going to edit it out. I'm going to take this with you. Take the camera with you.
All right. Let me grab this thing. That's Paul. He's really. I don't know if it's a good time for this, but he's really one of my best Golden Tee friends.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he helped me build my bag years ago that I'm still playing, and convinced me to chip with certain clubs, and we spend quite a bit of time together when we get a chance. But yeah, I really love that guy. I was kind of almost crying when he won that thing. It was really cool because I knew he could.
Yeah. And especially after last year, the way when he missed that putt against Lance, it was like the equivalent of a hanger. I mean, it was like 17 feet, 20 feet or something.
Yeah. And I know he's going to watch this. I know he is, because he's told me he's going to. But I really thought what was going to hold him back was his aggression, because he had me dead to rights in Eagles in St. Louis, and he hit a ball in the wall, and there was just no reason for him to hit the shot he did, and I think we all know that sometimes his creativity will kind of get in his way a little bit because he just sees a full and he wants to hit it so bad.
Yeah.
In fact, you even saw it. You even saw that if people went back, and they probably noticed it. You even saw it on the last hole against Eddie G. He kept going to look for that full on 18, and the first thing I told him when it was over, I was like, I would have killed you if you'd have ripped that full on 18. Like, and exactly what he said. He said, that's exactly what I was thinking about doing. I really wanted to hit that full. But yeah, he's a great dude.
Yeah, he is.
And more people should try to get to know him because he's way more.
Yeah, he's not the type that is like you and is just gonna walk around and start talking up to random people.
No, you have to go up to him.
Yeah, and then when you do though, he's super friendly.
Oh, he's way more willing to help than people think he is. Like,
yeah.
Just go over and talk to him. He's probably going to kill me for saying this. Now he's going to have 400 people. Well, winning worlds will do that anyway. So
yeah, that's true.
He can't blame me for that.
When you were learning how to play, were you self-taught, or who was guiding you? Like, who was clearly better than you? Did you have like a mentor of sorts?
So I'm glad you asked that. So earlier when I was telling you that I would play the monthlies, I would see these guys in Burnsville, and I didn't have a lot of time to play back then. Like I said, I'd play 8 games. When I said $40 a day, it actually might have been, I think it was $40 a week. So I think I'd play like 2 games.
What? $40 a week?
Well, I mean,
yeah. If that's all you could afford, but
yeah, and
that's just not many games a week.
I'm trying to move out, you know what I mean? But I can afford 40 because I'm not moving out yet.
Yeah.
But I think that's what it was. Whatever it was. Anyways, so I would play at this, I was 19, I think, and I would play at this place at Old Chicago across the street from my work after I was done working. And I would play in the bar area, and I kind of use my social skills to kind of get friendly with the bartender because he played. So I would just act like he was really good at it because I knew I wasn't supposed to be in that bar, and kind of worked my way in there where I could play in there, and he wasn't going to say, "Hey, you're not 21."
Would you get to drink also? Were you playing that card?
No, absolutely not. But I mean, I would, but not when I was there. You know what I mean? And I would see. So he got to where I could go in there and play. It's legal to play Golden Tee. Obviously, we figured that out with the Bryce thing that you got to be 18. But it wasn't legal to be in that bar. But this guy was okay with it. And I would see 5 or 6 names from Burnsville, and I was in Eagan, which is like the next town over. And I'm like, I got to find these guys. I've got to find them, And so what I would do is one day a week, I would go to a different bar in Burnsville and play Golden Tee. Didn't see him. And I think it was the 5th week. Yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. 5th or 6th week. Because I only had time to go to one place, and because I wanted to play too, so I would play there even if they weren't there. But I knew I was going to find them. And
I'm going to find you.
Yeah. And then I was determined to get good at this game. Like, I wanted to find these guys bad. Because I had to figure out what's going on. Because I'm shooting 1,800. I'm like, all right, I birdied everything. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
And that was kind of when I felt I had to find them, because I was like, I don't feel like I can do any better than this.
Yeah.
And it was probably the 6th bar. And I walked in, Chisholm, and I'm not kidding. As soon as I opened the door to this place, you could see all this yellow and blue. They had 5 or 6 over there in a row. There's 12 or 15 people over there.
Oh my God, it sounds like heaven.
Yeah.
For a dork like me.
And I remember saying, there they are. That's them right there.
What gave it away? The 6 machines.
And I walked over there, and it was I don't know if you remember this name. It was Rick Scoville.
Bad name.
He was Dizzle. Rick Scoville and Eric Strobridge. Stroh. He used to come to quite a few. He's been to the Chicago tournament a few times. A guy named Rob Anderson. But Dizzle, or Richard Scoville, was the one that he was the only one that really kind of gave me the time of day at first, God, D Train, Ramsey. Remember Ramsey? He was one of the
Oh
guys.
yeah, yeah, oh, yeah.
He was one of the guys that was there that day,
I
and
think it was Denver Open.
then got playing with them, and they told me about these Thursday tournaments. Started going to these Thursday tournaments and getting my ass kicked every week, but learning something every week, and eventually figuring it out. And I was there. This is probably the third time I was there, maybe the third week. And Fox walks in, and Fox was doing kind of the same thing I was, trying to figure out where these guys were and how to get better. And I think he drove clear across town. I think he lived quite a bit farther away back then. But I'll never forget that. I'm like, how is this guy so much better than me? Because I know that I got to that place before he did. He just figured it out a lot faster than I did. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how I got started. And then, Will was there too, I think, because Will's been playing. I'm sure most people know that, but he's been playing forever as well.
Yeah.
But God, that had to be like 2003, 2002, somewhere in there. I don't know. It's so hard to keep track because you just hang out with these guys every day now, and But yeah, and then from there, just we had these Thursday tournaments, and I played these Thursday tournaments every week. I think it was $25 a piece, and then there was a bunch of added gift cards, and we had this big gathering every Thursday. And I just kept learning more and getting better, and then you start to branch off when the Thursday tournaments meet and the South Metro guys, and it's kind of when I started playing with Fox and Will quite a bit, and Stroh and Ramsey. We played Thor sometimes too. Thor was on the other side of town, but he would come over here quite a bit, and you just learn so much from those guys. And
it's awesome.
And you really just have to play with them. Like, they would tell me something if I asked them, but I learned a lot from watching people. And I think, I hear so many players say this now. It bothers me a lot because the way I knew I could get good at the game is just literally I'm just watching these people. I'm like, okay, that guy has two hands, and I have two hands. So it's not like he's a special athlete. I should be able to do this.
Yeah.
But then you go to tournaments and you try to teach people shots, and they say, "Well, I don't have that shot." And I'm like, "Yes, you do. You have a hand. You have a hand. Like, that's all you need. You just need one of these." You know what I mean? So don't say you can't do it. You're just telling me you don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Or you don't want to leave your comfort zone. And you got to be willing to lose money for a little bit, and you got to be willing to try stuff. And I would watch him. I would be really uncomfortable, but I'd watch him do it, and it would work. And I would just try to do the same thing, and I'd be like, "Okay, that was only 25 or 30 yards off of what they just did. I just have to move that around a little bit, and we're going to be okay here." But I was really surprised how not out of control my ball was after trying to do some of the stuff they did.
Yeah,
because you're just hitting everything straight. For the first, however many years.
Yeah, for sure.
And then when you finally pull that thing all the way to A, you're like, oh boy, what's going to happen here?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's not so bad. I can adjust off of that,
So this brings up an interesting question and topic that I talk about in all walks of life, and when it comes to sports. What is it that you think now? Okay, you have a hand and you use it and you know all the shots and you know what to do. But so what separates the elite Golden Tee players from what makes them be able to do stuff consistently more than you and I can?
I don't know. I've tried to
it's not luck.
I've tried to figure that out for a long time. I'm guessing I think it's more of probably a more advanced version of what I just told you. Like, they're probably willing to take on trees a little more, willing to experiment a little more. But a lot of it, it just has to be. It has to be how you see the game. It has to be something like that. Like,
Yeah.
because I started playing before Luna too. I started playing before Stenmark, and they're seeing things that I'm not seeing. You know,
Yeah.
and you know what I've noticed is I'll play it daily, and I'll hit a shot, and the second time through I'll hit something completely different, just because of what pops up to me. Like, okay, I see it, there it is, and I'm like, why didn't I do that the first time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think they get that the first time every time, if that makes any sense, where they know the right shot. But I honestly, I played with Fox for years, and Fox is no slouch. I mean, Fox has won a couple
No.
player of the years,
Yeah.
and I mean, we're damn near best friends, and maybe I mean, a little more patience, a little more. I don't know. I wish I could answer that question, but
I have a theory. It's not an answer, but it's a
yeah,
theory because there's two parts of the game. First is figuring out what shot you're supposed to hit. Whether there's different answers, you could use different clubs and hit at different speeds.
yeah,
Blah blah blah. Cut it or not cut it, whatever. Then figure out how to translate that into the trackball mentally and say, okay, I need to pull it back to here, and I need to hit it here, and I need to hit it at that speed. And then there is the physical capability, like the eye hand coordination, to be able to replicate what your brain is telling you down to, you know,
yeah,
that thing. And that is where the elite guys have, uh, they can consistently do exactly what they are trying to do more
yeah,
often than I'm going to. Like, I mean, I look at a shot and I'm like, okay, this wind straight, the green's flat. I just know if I thumb this dead straight, this is going to go in the hole. And
yeah,
sure, it does sometimes, but it's not going to go in as often as they are with the exact same setup because they're so deadly accurate. And even the palm, the top palm guys, it's the same thing. Um,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's where that eye hand coordination specifically with the, I'm not to say that I'm worse at eye hand coordination overall, but
Yeah.
just with a trackball, they just, it's that next level.
There's, I feel like I said before, I feel like they're seeing, that let's say that over, that over the top view on the left side over there. Um, I think that tells a lot of the story to them. That where the whole layout there,
Sure.
the distance from the pin to the thing, because I use that sometimes. I mean, um, but I like Paul Taylor. He's seeing that screen is giving him so much more information than it's giving me, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why. I just think it's something built in,
Mm-hmm.
because we all have different personalities, which means we all have different things going on upstairs.
Yeah.
And I know Luna. Um, I'm not so sure about Haas because Haas has been playing this since whenever it.
The dawn of days.
But I know Luna, and I think Stenmark. I think Luna was uh, kind of on the fringe of a professional video gamer before he found Golden Tee, like
Really?
playing a different video game.
Oh.
And you probably don't get to that level in that game either, unless you're seeing something that other people don't. Um, but yeah, all I know is I'm doing the best with what I got.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all we can. Yeah.
And I've had a few click moments where it clicks and it clicks, but I haven't had the moment where it clicks like it does for those guys. I can compete with them, and any given time I play, I could potentially beat them, but
I,
it's
I,
probably a 2 out of 10. Whereas
um,
I'd like to make that 5 out of 10 and be right there with them, but it's a fine line. It's hard to get there, and you don't know what it is. I will tell you, um, I don't know how much of this has to do with how good they are. I'm sure it has something to do with it, but 50% of this game, especially in the hard shots, not the tee shots where there's nothing going on, and not the shot you're going to hit into this massive green, but when you get into the hard holes, the pre-shot stuff, I mean, that's 50% of the shot. The bite, the turn, the execution is only half. There's a lot of pre-shot stuff going on with these guys. You know what I mean? That they're getting figured out. I mean, they're moving that tee and that kind of stuff. And a lot of people don't have the patience to do that.
Yeah.
That's why there's some people that get to 26 and they just stay there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like the tiers. I like stuff like that. Put a bunker in the green. This game's already easy enough. We've got to have separators in there somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 17 of Hollywood. And,
yeah.
I think that's awesome. I mean, I think it's great, and if the pin's not anywhere near that thing, it's not even in play. So who cares? Once in a while it's in play. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
Let's have fun with it, and
the
it breeds creativity.
Yeah. The one thing about 17 on Hollywood is that if you're down a stroke going into that, you're like, well, there's always 17 because you never know.
Yep.
It's, speaking of 17, how sick was that Eddie G shot against Beattie? That was like one of the most insane shots. And that, I just can't believe that he did that when he was up one.
So the guys I play with, CJ and Fox, I think they both have super. No, I think they both have plus. And they might have specific super clubs, but for the most part, they have plus.
Yeah.
And I don't play with that stuff. Like I'm just like, I don't do it.
Mm-mm.
And I've never seen, other than dailies, a big reason or an argument against it. And then when I saw that shot, I was like, that's a pretty strong argument against building a bag with a super, because that's the only way that Eddie made that.
Yeah, but the thing is,
like, I couldn't have made that with the same club. I couldn't have done it.
No. But
you have to have super to get what he got there.
I wasn't as okay. The ball went in, fantastic that he made it, but it was hard enough just to know to hit it. Because if he'd hit it any harder, he would have hit the face of the green and it would have kicked in the water. Mm-hmm. And then he loses because they drop him on the other side. And now he's got to get up and down to tie Beattie because Beattie's going to get par. He's going to pitch it up there and make his putt. So now he'd be 1 in, 2 out. He would have to get up and down, and that would have been ridiculously tough. He probably would have given up a stroke or he would have been behind. He would have dumped 2 strokes and been behind going into 18.
So,
once Beattie didn't have a clear shot, besides a really tough chip, if I still, like, if I was his caddy, I don't care how good he is, I would say, Eddie, just hit it to the left like Beattie did, but, give yourself maybe a makeable putt.
So,
play it safe.
So that's kind of my point, though, is we were all thinking that, right?
Yeah.
And he was thinking something completely different because
he's like, I know I can land it here. I know I can put this on the green and have it not go in the water.
Yeah, because he plays that spin and he knows that how much forward that's going to go.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't have been able to do that.
But to land it, I mean, to
oh sure, but I think with his cursor, he kind of knew. He's like, if I land in front of this thing and I release,
he had a 15-mile-an-hour wind in his face. Like, I don't know, like just see.
100%.
He knows exactly how hard to hit that. I would been saying, I'm like, okay, I'm going to hit this pretty hard.
I was shocked as well, but as soon as I saw him, because I know him pretty well, and I know he's going to be really safe in that position.
Yeah.
As soon as he pulled the trigger on that, I was like, all right, he knows something we don't here, or he knows what this spin is going to do that I don't know. Because there's no way that Eddie would have put the world championship on the line if he wasn't 100% on that shot. He'd seen it before. He knew exactly where it was going to land based on the cursor and the wind. And he knew that his ball was going to go forward when it landed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And mine would have went straight backwards, so like, and maybe he was, maybe maybe it was that, because it does. There comes that point in everybody's tournament. Every single person that gets eliminated, it comes that point in the tournament. Like, you know what? Am I just gonna pick them up and just put my balls on the table and hit the shot? It could have been that, but that's not what it looked like to me. It looked like he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, he.
You know what I mean?
I bet that, and I will ask him the next time I see him. I'll say, what percentage did you give yourself of landing that ball, but having it hit the green in front
Yeah.
of the face slope? And he'll probably say, oh,
95,
98%.
Yeah, he will.
And that's what separates the
Mm-hmm.
those guys. It's just it's
And
so dialed in on
that's
that
where
really difficult stuff. My pool playing friends will watch me playing Golden Tee, and and they ask how good I am, and explain where I sit kind of with the
Mm-hmm.
world's best players, and they're like, I just can't imagine anyone better than you, and I'm like, dude, that's exactly like someone who doesn't play pool. They see you and I, and they think that they're like, we can't imagine anyone better than you at pool. You are so good, but yet we know that there is a huge difference
Yeah.
as well as we played, besides being a very competitive amateur versus the top pros. The person who doesn't know much about pool can't see the difference, but we
Yeah.
can, and it's that
Yeah.
those next levels up.
That's what my kids say about me, and I'm like, oh boy, like you have no idea. Like you get to this point, it's like this, but then you get up here, and now it's like this, and it's just like,
Yeah.
this gap is so much harder to close than this one.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
yes.
and but that's so awesome. Like, to me, it's great.
Oh yeah.
Because if that was easy to do, we would all quit years ago.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, it's just, it has to be hard to get that good. That's
Yeah.
what makes it fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not playing this game if I'm not challenged and I'm not trying to beat somebody. It's not any fun.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So, but it's crazy. You're right. Like, people say that to me. Like, I'm the best player within 20 miles of here, but 20 miles from here, there's Fox. You know what I mean? And it's just like, but as soon as you get to that top 20, to get into that top 5, it's, you shoot up to 20, but it's not as easy as you think. And with the Eddie G shot, a lot of times I think reps can hurt you going into a tournament, because you wear down and you get kind of just complacent and just like, oh, I'm playing so much.
Yeah.
But that shot that Eddie G hit on 17 of Hollywood, that was all reps. Was all reps,
Yeah.
And Eddie G plays as much as anybody. And he'd hit that shot before. He'd seen that setup before. And that's why these guys ramp up before Worlds, is because if you play enough, you play as much as these full-timers do, you've seen all the setups. You're not like, oh, I haven't seen this before, And if you do, it's really rare, So,
yeah.
And that helps them. It helps them in those big crunch time moments, So, and that's what separates them from us, And the other stuff we were talking about earlier, where they're just seeing stuff we don't see,
Yeah. So, what is your favorite part of the game? Like, as in like solving the puzzle or the competition or the friends, or I mean, obviously it's everything combined, but like, what's your driving part that keeps you coming back the most?
I have to compete. Like, I have to, like, it has to be part of my life. Like,
yeah.
I have to compete at something, and I have to do it almost every day. Like, I like winning, and I don't do it as much as I want to. And all the people that probably only know my tournament results are probably like, really? So you don't really do that great at it. But like, I love to win. I get a real kick out of winning. I mean, but when I lose, it sucks. But the ride and the ups and downs of a game and a match, I'm just addicted to it. Like, You
It's
can't get enough
awesome.
of it.
Now, it's your
And
favorite part of competing, like head to head at a tournament, or is it like playing
yeah,
online?
that's my favorite part of it.
Yeah,
But you know, obviously, online will suffice
sure.
when
Yeah.
you can't do that.
Do
But
you have a home machine?
but if it was up to me, there'd be somebody waiting for me to get off work every day, wanting to play heads up games.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
but they can't be Andy Fox. It
Yeah.
has to be somebody other than him because I got to win every once in a while. And I do beat him from time to time, but you know what I mean. It's like
He shows up in a costume.
well, I do okay with Andy now, but there were so many years that he kicked my ass, and I can't forget it. You know what I mean? So it kind of sits there. But no, I just I just love competing, and I do have a home machine. I love the tournaments or the online tournaments and stuff, but the live aspect of being with people and being in a room and moving around and playing, that I have a lot. That's what I really enjoy. And outside of that, like Golden Tee, let's just talk Golden Tee. Like in golf, the reason it's so addicting is there's just never, you can't ever do a perfect. There's no perfect game. You can
Yeah, yeah.
always nobody, everybody that's playing, every single person that's ever played could still shoot a personal best. It's not impossible. You could still do it
Yeah.
because nobody's ever aced or made every hole
Yeah,
or
yeah.
second shot. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
I actually I had a perfect game of bowling in like probably 2003 or something, and I bowled all the time. And once I got that perfect game, I just lost the fire completely. I was like, well, now what?
Well,
And
then you try to go for your 900 ring. That didn't happen.
sure, but it was just to me it was bowling is so repetitive that once I got that, I was like, all right, well, now I can really get into Golden Tee. You know what I mean?
You're talking about Silver Strike, right? Of course.
No, real bowling. No,
Joking.
no. Well, and it didn't help that real bowling kind of made my arm sore the next day, and then I couldn't play Golden Tee, and then I had to get the perfect game, and I was like, all right, now we can just do Golden Tee.
Do you
I
have a
did,
home machine?
yeah, I just got the PGA one. Yeah,
Oh yeah, nice. Now, how often do you play it? Because you don't really get to compete when you play that. Well, there's events and
well,
invites.
actually, I'll use this. I'll use this as an opportunity for whoever's watching this. I
All
play.
invites welcome.
No, I play with James Hickey and Mike Arrington, and Jamie Arrington. Uh, Not so much lately because Worlds kind of interrupted that, and then we kind of got busy. But we were playing 3-4 times a week on Discord, where I'm looking at them like I'm looking at you right now, and I'm watching them play. And we play invites together, and I can watch them play like I'm at a tournament. It's the greatest thing ever, and
Yeah. How does it work?
I
haven't
cannot
used
believe
Discord.
more people aren't doing it. Like I just can't believe it because
Well,
it's awesome.
enlighten
You
the
know,
uninitiated like
and
me.
for some of my friends that are gonna bust my balls, I give these guys a few marks a game. So it's not like we're going crazy here. We try to keep it even, and it's a good time. But no, you go on. You put a webcam on your computer, you put a capture card on or a webcam on your machine, a capture card on your machine. You hook it up to your computer. You log on to Discord. I think you have to have OBS. That's what OBS is. What pushes your stream to Discord.
Okay.
And then you jump in the players' lounge, and your Golden Tee screen pops up with your webcam. And then this computer I'm using right now, I've got both of them playing on there, and I can watch them hit shots. I can watch them play shots, and we play the invites at the same time in real time. And then when we run out of them, we go accept some more, and we play some more, and we get
So
to
how do you
watch.
decide who hits first? Oh, it's like whoever has honors.
We just go.
You just go. Okay.
Yeah, we just go. I mean, you could do that too, though. You could
Yeah.
do that. I mean, if somebody wanted to do
Yeah.
that, you could do that. You
Yeah.
know, you could just say, "Hey, I'm out."
Yeah. I'm down one, so it's your shot on this tough shot on 17. Let's
You
see
could
it.
you could 100% do that if speed wasn't an issue. If you didn't care
Yeah.
about speed,
Yeah.
we don't do that. And there's probably a little bit of etiquette there sometimes. Like I was playing with Mike last night, and he watered a shot on Tropical Falls, and I was down one. And before I hit the shot, I told him, I said, I just wouldn't feel right. I know I would have went for this if I was playing, by myself. So I'm not going to lay up because I watched you just go in the water. So I tried to make it, and I went in the water too. And then he ended up winning the invite. So there's kind of like, you do it with friends. There's an etiquette to it where you're not just going to be this guy that punches everything out in the fairway because you let the guy get a hole ahead of you. You know what I mean? And, to be honest, the computer's over here, and I'm not watching every single shot. I kind of look over there at certain moments and stuff. If I wanted to watch every shot, I could. But it's not like I know exactly what they're doing all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's the closest thing.
Are you talking out loud? Like you can hear each other talk and stuff?
Yeah,
That's awesome. Dude, I'm going to get so addicted to this. I had no idea people were doing this.
Oh, it's the greatest thing ever, Chisholm. I mean, you got to get in there. It's so much fun.
And so, what is hooking up a capture card entail? Where does that hook up in the hard drive?
No, you just put it. You put it in line. It goes in line. So you got HDMI going from your Golden Tee to your TV.
Yeah,
and it goes in between there.
Oh, it's just like a splice.
So you go from your Golden Tee machine capture card to the TV.
And where does the capture card? And you hook the capture card into you run a cable
and then,
from there.
And then there's another cable coming out of the capture card that goes to the computer. Yeah.
Oh. Yep. Is there any special requirements for the capture card? Like any kind of are there different kinds of capture cards, or I just go on Amazon and go capture card?
No, in fact, I have the one I have right now isn't even supposed to be 4K, and it still works on this PGA machine. So.
Oh.
But it's basically all the same equipment. Like if you went on Golden Tee Fan right now and said, "Hey, what do I need for streaming?" It's all the same stuff. You're going to Discord. You're not going public on YouTube. You're just going to Discord instead of YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think Jay Ware is going to have us all do like a video here in the next couple of weeks. And we're just going to kind of play on there so people understand what's going on there.
That's a good idea.
But God, I've been doing it for over a year. And I'm just shocked that more people aren't doing it. Like, to me, it's the future of Golden Tee, and it's only going to get better with I could play 1 through 5 with you right now, Chisholm, and talk to you just like this and watch you.
That'd be awesome.
It's great, And if you wanted to, and you had the time, like you said, we could sit there and do every other shot.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And we're just trying to kind of play. We just kind of keep going. But yeah, if you really wanted to,
of course,
you could do that. Yeah. You could totally do that.
But that's like the fun part. It's like sit there and talk shit or whatever.
It's so much fun, And we played a bunch of Eagles Peak before Worlds, and we're bouncing stuff off each other, and then I used all that information, and I went to Worlds and shot a 21 on Eagles. I mean, I wouldn't be able to shoot 21.
If it wasn't for Discord, I would have shot a 19.
Yeah. So a little sarcasm there, but you know what I mean? Like you get to bounce that stuff off each other, but it's going to be a lot of fun when the new courses come out, We kind of figure them out together,
Yeah.
We share a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's friendships. I mean, we'll sit on there sometimes and not even play. We just sit there and bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a good time.
Shit. Oh, that is awesome.
You got to try that, especially if you got a home machine.
Oh yeah.
Blast.
And what else? Oh, at the Gold Nugget upstairs, what was that special? The 21 and over, and you're like, more like the 80 plus.
Yeah, 80 and over. Yeah. So I was disappointed. I got to be honest. I'll tell you one other thing about that pool. not the upstairs one, but we went back on like Saturday. Me and Will were like, dude, let's go to the store here right by the Notoriety. Let's get an 18-pack. Let's throw it in my backpack, throw some towels over it, go into the pool at the Golden Nugget, and have some beers and have a good time. And we got there at like 5:45, thinking, let's hang out at the pool for 3 hours. We'll go to bed. We'll get a good night's sleep, and we'll try and win the silver bracket. And as soon as we get
close at 6,
as soon as we get there, they're like, "Hey, just letting you guys know, we close at 6:30." I'm like, 6:30? It's 120 degrees.
Hey, how did you get your screen name? Where does Jazz come from?
So I got a lot of shit for that when I first did it, because obviously of what do they call it? Is it AlJazz? The news network. I got a lot of crap for that when I did it. It's like, oh, terrorist this, terrorist that, and I'm like, no, it's not. That's all about. And so I remember having to explain that a lot, but I also remember being like, I'm not changing it. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm keeping it the same, like, because it has nothing to do with that. So where that comes from is my name is Alan James Zerull.
Okay.
And because of AlJazz, somebody started calling me AlJazz.
Okay, yeah.
And then I just kind of shortened it to AlJazz.
Like, yeah.
But if you look at it, it's the first two initials of my first name and the first two initials of my middle name. And then it's just, my last name is Z, and it's just two Z's at the end.
Sure, yeah.
So Alan James Zerull, AlJazz, and that's how that started.
Okay, yeah.
I will say the biggest pet peeve of that, because I've always used AlJazz as one word.
Uh-huh.
My biggest pet peeve is whenever people write it or talk about me, they write Al space Jazz, and I'm like, no, it's one word. It's AlJazz.
Well, I think we've reached that point of the quick shot turbo seat.
Quick shot turbo seat. Oh boy.
Quick shot turbo seat. Okay, so gonna read off 10 names, 10, maybe 11. This might be a little twist. I'm gonna decide what to do here.
Oh boy.
Give your answer. Either one word or 2 words, whatever it may be. Don't give an explanation. We're gonna go through the list, and then after we're done, then we'll go back through, and then we'll talk about why you came up with that name for each person. Al, not AlJazz, but AlJazz. Are you ready for the quick shot turbo seat?
Yes.
Let's do it. First name, Andy Fox.
Unbelievably smart gambler.
Okie doke. Steve Sobel.
Misunderstood.
CJ Wengler.
I got like a million things running through my head. Sorry. I know him from so many angles.
Now, you do know that one of the I'm going to repeat the name of this segment. Quick shot turbo seat.
All right.
See
fierce competitor.
All right. Jordan Scott.
One of my best friends.
That's more of a statement than a name. Try it again. Jordan Scott.
Right. Inspirational.
There you go.
To an unbelievable degree, though.
Okay. That would go with a follow-up description.
All right,
Inspiration. How about that? Okay. Dave Sandmeyer.
my guy.
Paige Gossett.
Serious.
Ooh. Evan Gossett.
Not so serious.
Prince.
God, sorry. Dumb.
Wow. David Key.
I'm sorry. You just got catch me right up. I hope you're going to edit this. Tourney goer. That's all I can say.
Last one. Will Stanstead.
Loyal.
Boom. Good job, man. You made it through the quick shot turbo seat.
Oh, I didn't. I tried to make it through it.
I beg to differ. All right, let's quickly discuss these answers. Let's see, Andy. Let's see. I'll try to remember them. I didn't write down your answers, but I think we can figure it out. Andy Fox.
I said very smart gambler.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, because
or unbelievable gambler or something like that. But this guy is just always in the right spot. And he gets in a bad spot once in a while, but I've never met anybody that is better at making money with the odds stacked against him than this guy. He's
really
very good. Yeah.
Really. Do you mean in sports betting or betting on himself in competitive situations?
Betting on himself. He's got a couple of massive DraftKings hits.
Really?
He's just, and he studies. I mean, he puts the work in too. So
yeah, and what a great run at the World Series, man! Can you imagine if he had final tabled?
Another great example of what I'm talking about. You know, like he's so good at putting himself in the right place at the right time, and I think he knows that. And I think I've told him that. But I think if he watches this and hears it, he's probably going to be like, wow, I really probably am pretty good at doing that. He is.
Could you imagine really if on Sunday he had been at the final table while the finals were like everyone that got knocked out of the tournament instead of sticking around to watch the end of the Golden Tee would be over there.
So seriously, like no disrespect to the person I'm about to mention. It was just a name I picked out when we were talking about this. And you're like, dude, if you're there on Sunday, we're not going. We're not going at all. Like, we might not even go Saturday. And then I followed up that text with like, and your 2023 Golden Tee champion is Keith Bennett. He's won one match. He got 7 buys. Because we were all on the rail. And it's literally no disrespect to Keith Bennett at all.
No. He's a great dude too. We had a blast
he
with
is. He is. It was just a name I picked off.
Yeah.
When I was trying to make this joke, you know?
Yeah.
Because I would not have been there. I would have. You know, Andy's like seriously, he's one of my best friends. Like, if not my best friend, like I'm going to that. You know.
Yeah.
And I know about 15 to 20 other people that were going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And there's probably 20 more that I didn't even know about that were going to go on that rail. You know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It would have been funny to see IT squirm under that umbrella. You know what I mean? Andy doing his thing.
Yeah. And then Andy had to go and ruin it for us.
Well,
and get knocked out. God, thanks, Andy.
It wasn't as far away as you might think. I mean, like,
yeah. Man, hell of a run.
Yeah, he did all right. It was fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Steve Sobel, you said misunderstood, I believe.
Yeah, and I get it. Like, I mean, the guy can be a little harsh at tournaments, and he knows that. Like, I'm not breaking any news here. you know.
Yeah, but
But
he's dealing with children. I
yep.
mean,
Well,
he has
hold
to
on.
be
Well,
that way. Or
let me finish. Like people, like if they actually step back and watch what he's doing and realize all the bullshit he has to go through and make this whole thing work, sometimes you got to be a little short with people because you
yeah,
got to make this thing work. So, from a lot of the 1, 2, 3 timers that I talk to that have a problem with Steve, like I just feel like he's a little misunderstood because they don't
yeah,
get the whole gist yet. They don't understand that, hey, this guy's got shit to do. Like he's not running one tournament; he's running like 4 of them,
yeah.
and he's got so.
I'm really good friends with Steve, and we always make a
Oh
point to
yeah,
hang out, outside of the event, um, uh, and we have a blast.
yep. He's
And
great to hang out with.
during the tournament, I I it's like I view him as a different person, and I not as a I don't mean that as in like oh I he's an asshole. That's not what I mean at all. I mean
Yeah,
like he's not Steve, my friend right there. He's Steve, the tournament director,
yep,
and I'm
yeah.
gonna respect what he does. So when I sit there and I'm waiting in line and it's my turn, I don't go, oh. Yeah, man, what's up? That was funny. That that what happened last, or any of that. Like none. I just wait
Yeah.
my it's like the soup Nazi. It's like the soup Nazi. You go up, you tell your
No,
result,
yeah.
you step aside, you move on.
Correct. 100%.
Yeah,
100%. So when I said misunderstood, it was more in defense or trying to explain to people like
yeah, yeah,
don't don't take this personal
yeah, exactly.
or a compliment. You know what I mean? It 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 took me a couple of years to figure out because I have a strong personality, so it rubbed me the wrong way at first. But I know people that it rubbed way the wrong way, you know,
Yeah,
and those people just need to have a little more patience and
yeah. You'd
give him
like to
some
see them
time.
sit in that chair and
And
run
when
that
he
tournament.
well, and the big thing there is
Actually, I would like to do that.
when he walks around later in the tournament, and he's got his backpack on his shoulder like this. Talk to him then, and then
Yeah,
tell me how he is,
yeah,
because
yeah,
then he's all right. He's a great
yeah,
dude. And
yeah,
he's good when he's running the tournament too. But if your only impression is him sitting at that desk, then that's not going to get you. I mean,
yeah,
you don't know who Steve is. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
He's he's representing every player there when he's in serious mode because any time wasted wastes everyone else's time
Yep. Talk to him
and
when he has his
snowball
backpack,
effect.
and then you'll know who Steve is. That's when you get to meet Steve. He's
Yeah.
got his backpack right here.
Yes. Okay, next one. CJ Wengler. I can't remember what you said. Do you
Fierce
remember?
competitor.
There you go.
This guy wants to win really bad, and he puts in a lot of the work. He really does. I love the guy. I hang out with him a lot. Obviously, spent a lot of time with him when he was trying to figure out what was going on. Me and Andy played with him a lot, um, and I want him to do well because I feel like he's kind of a disciple of Bunker. You know what I mean? Um, but I've never seen anybody more pissed when he loses. Like,
Really? Oh, he hides it well.
well, yeah, well, he does. But I mean, when we get home, we talk about it. And he wants to win. You
Yeah.
know,
Is
he's
he
just
pissed or upset or like disappointed,
uh,
like crushed, or is
probably
he
pissed.
angry?
Probably pissed.
Yeah.
Pissed. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
That's
No,
awesome.
it's
You know what? That fierceness is what makes people better at things. If
no.
it if
See,
it does if it doesn't pain you to lose, then there's not as much
no.
drive to
Well, he really wants to do
jump at.
well. He really wants to do well. Yeah,
Let's
he
see.
really wants to do well, and he helps me all the time now. I mean, it's that's what I love about guys like him is he plays the game different than me, so he's showing me stuff now, and I'll try and show him stuff. I don't know if I show him as much as I used to, but
He plays it differently, as in like what example wise is he
he's kind of
do more
like a
souls?
he's kind of like a hybrid of Talo and Giuseppe. Like he really wants to um,
He
find,
shapes balls or
yeah,
plays a lot of fouls, and
he wants to find that shit, and he's willing to change clubs. He's willing to change balls. He don't give a shit, and those people are the ones that are going to get good because
yeah,
they don't have to stick with their equipment. Like he's
yeah.
willing to do all that stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Next, Jordan Scott said inspirational.
Beyond belief. Like
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And
it's
I don't mean that in a sympathy way. Like he is just such
no, no.
a good, like good spirit and soul. Like he's always smiling. I mean, I'm sure there are times when he,
So
that everyone gets upset in life about stuff, but he just he has a aura about him. You can
yeah,
feel the positive energy just wafting
yeah. I
around the
just
room.
I love him so much. I just he's like yeah. It's just you just watch him play, man. That's all you have to do. Just watch him play. That's really all you have to do. Like I don't think I have to tell much. Um, I don't think I have to say much any more than that. But
Yeah,
you
it is
wanna you
impressive
wanna
too.
well you complain about complain about the line at Starbucks and complain about all the problems you have at the grocery store and complain about how you can't get on a machine, because the locals are playing the machine. Just watch him play, and that all just goes away. Like
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
yeah,
Like just being able to play is a
yeah.
big
Oh,
deal, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Imagine if everyone, if you had a tournament where everyone had to sit in a chair and play. you, you would definitely dominate that.
I'm not kidding. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, he would kick my ass. Like I couldn't play like that. You know, It's just, he would kill me. But
Yeah,
seriously, like people need to like stop being so petty, and worrying about all this little stuff. Probably some of the stuff we've talked about in this podcast. Like like oh, Kevin made a bad social media post.
I
Who
didn't
cares?
get my jersey.
Yeah,
Where's my jersey?
yeah. Who cares?
Me, this guy.
Jordan can play Golden Tee. That's all that really matters.
Yeah,
So
yeah, damn
yeah.
right.
So it's awesome.
Dave Sandmeyer,
I
you
said that
said
was
my
my
guy, I think.
Yeah, yeah. He definitely love that guy. He is he is the epitome of camaraderie for this game. Like he brings people together, um, and he plays well. Plays well at the same time, but he doesn't play too well because he's got to balance the camaraderie with the play, right?
Yeah,
But he does really well for the position he's in, um, and he doesn't care how well he plays. All he
yeah, yeah,
cares about is how many friends he makes playing this game, and he's making a lot of them, and he's going to make a lot more. I'll tell you that.
yeah.
And he'll be my friend forever as long as he lets me. That's for sure. I love that guy. Great dude. Great dude. Might have a little too many barley hops, sometimes.
It doesn't stop him from qualifying for the Worlds, though. That's for sure.
Probably guilty of the same thing. So
He seems to have a knack for
yeah.
coming in hot
No,
in the
yeah.
qualifiers and just
He told me.
roaring through it.
He told me flat out. He's like, I'm not even trying. I'm just going to go down there and I'm going to figure it out. But if he wouldn't have made it, Dave would have had the same weekend. He would have had just as much fun.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
he just
yeah.
wants to come down there and hang out with his boys. And if he gets in the Worlds, that's a bonus. You know?
Yeah.
He's a great glue person.
Yeah.
He glues people together. And
Yeah.
you need people like that. He's awesome.
Absolutely.
Love him.
So next person we said, Paige Gossett. I believe you said serious.
Well, I mean, in that it was a quick fire, right?
Yeah, it was a great answer. Well, not for that one. It was the follow-up one that was great.
Yeah, she's just so like when she walks around.
Yeah, she's good at what she does. She's like
Yep.
Steve.
Yep, nope,
Yeah,
nope,
yeah, just
nope,
taking care of
nope.
business. with a
No, it
smile on her face,
doesn't mean it's because I've had a lot of fun with Paige too. Like, I mean, hanging out after or carrying around the Baja Bean on my shoulder, like she's willing to have fun too. But when she's
Oh,
doing
she
her
loves
thing,
that video of you trying to put the
yeah,
bills
yeah.
into the cigarette machine.
But when she's doing her thing, like she takes it serious and she gets her
Yeah,
job
yeah,
done.
TCOB, baby.
There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong with that. She does the same stuff in realty. So I love people like that. Like
yeah,
you got to be able to change capes, right? Like and
yeah,
she's great at changing capes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's a compliment to you, Paige. And
Absolutely,
then it
100%, 100%.
and and then it was great. And it said Evan, and you said not so serious.
Yeah, Evan, I love Evan.
I love
Evan's,
Evan.
yeah, I love him. I mean, we've spent some time together, golf together and stuff. I just know him, and I know exactly what he's thinking, and I just every time I talk to the both of them separate, I'm like, "Ugh, she has to deal with him, and he has to deal with her, and and
And like 17 kids or however.
well, what's funny is he looks very serious all the time. Um, but when I say not serious, it's just like, he's always fucking around too. Like he's ready to have a good time and he's ready to um, give you shit and make sure that you know where you stand in this game
Yeah.
of Golden Tee. You know what I mean? So
He came to the Denver Opens and he was coming up and he said, I think it was the second, was it the first one or the second one? And he said, I'm going to win this. He goes, I'm going to win this tournament. And he was not one of the favorites. And then he won it. Uh, um, I can't remember if that was the
I
first year or
remember.
the second year. I
I
think it
actually
might have
kind
been
of.
the second year.
So I wasn't there, but I kind of remember that period of time where people, when he was really starting to get really good, and people didn't realize how good he was. And
Yeah.
that was probably about when that tournament was, because he was getting good real fast there for a couple of years, and I bet that's when that was.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me if he said that because he's very confident. He's a
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
very confident person.
Yeah.
I don't think he's cocky.
I remember also along
It's good. It's good to feel the way he does. Like
Yeah.
I mean,
I remember GVK was there, and he was. I mean, he had no chance of winning. Like
yeah,
he was a fraction. He was just learning how to play, and um, and and but he was there to absorb. And I all of a sudden, like I couldn't believe, like how good he got, how quickly. it was.
I
Was
don't
like,
know.
is that the same guy?
So I don't know if you. I don't know if you do this or not. I don't know if you thumb or not.
I do.
George doesn't thumb.
No, he does that. It looks like he's. It doesn't
Yeah.
look like he's hitting it straight.
And I don't. It doesn't surprise me how good George is by not thumbing. Because I didn't thumb until like 3.5 years ago, and best thing I ever did, and I can't believe I didn't do it sooner. What surprises me about George is how often he holds out without thumbing. Like
Yeah,
I can't believe how many
it's
shots
it's
he makes
amazing how accurate
without
he can be
thumb.
like that.
There was I think it was the St. Louis tournament, and the amount of holeouts he had was just absurd.
Yeah.
With not thumbing, I was just like, "What is going on here?"
Oh, the Nashville last year, he was the number one qualifier.
Maybe it
He
was
had
that,
something insane, like 10
and
holeouts or something during the qualifier, or something
yeah,
like that,
and
or 8.
so
Uh,
I can hit a control palm. I can hit palms different speeds. Like I take pride in that. But the accuracy of
yeah,
what he does without palming or without thumbing, and same thing with Beatty.
yeah.
It's like,
And Chris Brewer doesn't thumb very much, does he? Isn't he a palmer?
no, Brewer thumbs, but he's a very opportunistic thumber.
Okay.
if there's a really good one, I think, ooh, and he'll correct me if I'm wrong. He'll do it.
I
But
just
he
picture
doesn't.
him with his legs all spread out and him.
He doesn't do it at the frequency of like me and Will and Andy and maybe Luna and Haas. I'm not trying to put us all in the same category, but um, I'm trying to find that. Like I'm looking for that every single shot. Like I'm trying to find a thumb shot.
Yeah, me too. Next one, oh, Prince, and you said dumb. I think I know why.
Yeah, I
Dumb.
just man, come on, man. Like really. So his like I can point to it. It's over here. Uh, his place, right, 4 or 5 miles down the road.
It's on my bucket list. That's one of the places. I was a huge Prince fan. I
It's
would
right
love
here.
Paisley Park.
It's
Yeah,
right here.
yeah,
4 or 5 miles down this road. Like just go down this road. Um, Loved his stuff. Like some of it I thought was a little eccentric,
oh, sure.
whatever.
When you
Sure.
get thousands of songs, you're gonna have some offbeat ones.
But his hits were different, right?
Yeah.
Like
And the
when it,
talent that oozed out of him. I mean,
yeah,
Michael Jackson, of course, who's pop icon, extremely
yes,
talented. But with Prince, with all those instruments he played and how many songs
played
he
them
wrote,
all.
it's unbelievable.
But when he had a hit, it wasn't necessarily uh, in the genre of the hits at that time. It was just a hit because, well, we just like this. Like, what are we
Yeah,
supposed to? We just like this, you know. And the other thing about this guy, which is that's a big thing for me because I love the guitar. Nobody realizes this. Probably the best guitar player in the world when he died.
yes, one
You know what I
hundred
mean?
percent.
Seriously, like
Yeah, uh,
people have no idea
he
this
was
guy
he.
played guitar.
I know some people would, throw stuff at the computer screen trying to
Yeah.
hit me, but he was as talented as Jimi Hendrix.
Oh,
Skill wise.
100%. Easily. Easily. I'm not discounting Jimi Hendrix,
No, correct. Yeah,
but I've watched a lot of guitar music, like big into it, and he was one of the best on the
yeah,
strings. Like he would just
virtuoso. I'm
just like music, just like it just came out of
yeah.
music. Here, take this. Here.
Um, I was fortunate enough to get to see him in concert once, and it was in 2001, I think it was, and it was at the Pepsi Center in Denver where the Nuggets play. And there was a circle stage in the middle, which I know a lot of bands do now, but
Yep.
that was kind of unique. And the thing, all these years later, 20 years later, that sticks out from the show because yeah, I've seen, it's a long time ago, and the whole thing's kind of a blur, except that for a half hour in the middle of the show, everyone got off the stage except him, and he sat on a stool and did an acoustic set of, and but he had, if I remember correctly, it wasn't a 6 string guitar, it was a 12 string, and I think that's the way my brain remembers it. But he spun slowly on the stool. But he was, yeah. I mean, of course, he played some of the hits like
Yeah.
uh, um, uh, "Never Take the Place of Your Man," and he was to sing that, and then he was like, he stopped. He goes, "Remember that from high school?" And um, and but then he was playing other songs. But then he would get into the solo part and just doing on acoustic guitar, just going like it was
Yeah.
amazing. It was by far for me my favorite part of the show. But it was
Oh,
I'm glad to say I got to see him at least
yeah.
once.
I did not get to do that.
Um, but
He was fantastic.
someday when I come to the bunker, is that what your place is
Yeah.
called?
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
when I come see you at the bunker, I'll jaunt down the
You should.
thing
It's
and
right by my house.
yeah.
Um, the halftime show, best ever. Best ever.
Oh, yeah, dude. When he played "Purple Rain," and behind that sheet, and
It's
there's
over.
rain, and the raindrops are coming. Dude, I still get goosebumps just thinking about it.
He told people. He told them. He's like, let me play this guitar because he's like, I just want to play the guitar, and he just went and he just ripped it. And it wasn't his best set ever. It's not his best guitar work ever,
No,
but it was really good mainstream guitar.
yeah,
Just let the people have it, and it appealed to everybody.
yeah,
And that's what he was. He's like, what's my audience? I'll take care of that. You know what
yeah,
I mean? That's what he did.
yeah,
And then when he got in the blues club, he took care of that audience. You know what I mean? Like, he's unbelievable.
yeah.
Just what a musician. Just adapts. You know
And when you said dumb, you mean for ODing.
what?
When you call Prince dumb,
Oh
like,
yeah, come
yeah,
on, man. Get
yeah,
your shit together.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, people said he got addicted to him because his hips were hurting, but still,
well,
yeah,
he might have been. And actually, he might have been the first big case of fentanyl that we heard. So maybe he got
yeah,
caught on. Maybe he got caught on the early side of that. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like, where if he was aware of that, maybe if 5 years later, maybe that wouldn't have happened because he's like, oh, that
yeah,
could be in there. But
yeah, yeah, yeah. No kidding, no kidding.
because I
Um,
feel like he was the first person that I felt like that happened to. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
first famous person. Yeah,
And now it's this big deal.
yeah, yeah,
Now it's
yeah,
happening to everybody.
yeah,
So I don't
yeah.
know.
Okay, next person, two left. Let's see, David Key. What did you say?
I don't know if I said anything.
You said something. You had a whole bunch of stuff in your head.
David Key's just a great time. Like I just
Yeah,
that maybe that's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Great time.
We'll just go with that.
Plays good
There's so
golden
many words.
tee. Plays good golden tee. Fun to hang out with. Fun to gamble with. Like you can win $500 off of David Key, and you could lose $500 off of David Key.
Absolutely. Oh,
It's
he is not. It
it's
doesn't
just
matter
one
to him.
like it's going to be exciting if you're hanging out with David Key
Yes, it
because
is.
you're going to be gambling, you're going to be losing big, you're going to be winning big, or you're going to be playing the Buffalo. You're going to be, it's just yeah, he's just a good time. That's what
He
it should
is.
be.
He's
Yeah,
awesome. He's awesome. And then the last one, Will Sanstead.
incredibly loyal. Like I said, I mean, just love the guy. He's funny as hell. Love hanging out with him. Spend so much time with him. He's done a lot for me. Took me to Sawgrass last year. Um,
Awesome.
we do a lot of stuff together. I wish we could do more. We do as much as we can do. He's guy's got a big heart. He deals with a lot of shit. And he's really good at it.
Right
He's a
on.
good dude. Good dude. Love that guy. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, good job. That was for the recap of the Quick Shot Turbo Seat. Um, well, I think I've taken up enough of your time. I really appreciate you coming on, my man. And
Yeah.
are you going to Carolina?
No, I'm gonna skip Nashville and Carolina. I'm gonna go to
Ah,
Dallas.
boo.
Yeah.
Dallas. Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
will see you in Dallas, and I look
See
forward
you
to
there.
it.
Yeah, I had a
And
lot of fun talking to you, man. This was a good time,
yeah,
honestly.
it was a
Yep.
blast.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right. And oh, I have not announced what the next guest is. Next guest is another. Well, everyone's entertaining, but this we're really looking forward to this one. And he's not afraid to get in front of the mic because he does it. And going to, I know you probably think I'm going to say his name's Jason, but it's not Jason. But it is. It is Mike Johnston will be our next guest.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. He's gonna be way funnier than me. Like, not even on purpose. He's just a funny. He's a funny dude on accident. I love that guy. Great. Yeah.
All right, man.
All right.
Peace.
Thank you. Peace.